The banquet hall erupted in applause as my father wrapped up his speech with that trademark grin of his. I owe it all to my boys. My daughter? She never quite measured up. Laughter rippled through the crowd. More clapping. My heart pounded like a drum in my chest. I rose slowly, my heels echoing on the polished marble floor. Every eye in the room swung toward me. I made my way to the stage, placed a small, neatly wrapped box in his hands, leaned into the microphone, and whispered, "From your biggest failure." Then I turned and walked out, leaving a vacuum of stunned silence in my wake. He peeled open the box and let out a scream that cut through the air like a knife raw. Guttural. The sound of a man facing the ghost of his own making. That scream lingered in my mind as I drove away from the venue, the city lights blurring past my window. But to understand why it happened, why I chose that moment to shatter the facade, you have to go back to the beginning. Back to when I was just a kid. Emily Thompson. The invisible girl in a house full of golden boys. I was 7, clutching a shiny blue ribbon from the school science fair. I'd built a volcano model that erupted perfectly, earning first place. I burst through the front door, breathless, ready to show Dad. He was in the basement workshop with Michael and David, tinkering on an old car engine. I waited patiently until he wiped the grease from his hands. "Look, Dad, I won." He glanced at the ribbon, raised an eyebrow. "Science fair. Huh? That's nice, kiddo. But go help your mom in the kitchen, dinner won't make itself." Then he turned back to the boys, slapping Michael on the back. "Now, this is real work. Son, pass me that wrench." It was like I'd vanished right there. That was the first crack in my world. The moment I realized being smart, being creative, didn't count if you weren't one of the guys. Growing up in our suburban Ohio home, Dad, Robert Thompson, a decorated Army veteran, preached toughness, grit, the kind of backbone that came from sweat and calluses. My brothers fit the mold perfectly. Michael was the star quarterback, built like a tank, leading his high school team to state championships. David was the charmer, quick with a joke, always fixing things around the house without being asked. Dad lived for their games, their victories. He'd grill steaks after wins, slap their backs, and say, "That's my blood right there, real men in the making." Bruises were badges of honor, touchdowns were family lore. But me? I was the bookworm. The one who devoured novels under the covers with a flashlight. The one who aced tests but cried over scraped knees. "That's expected from a girl," he'd say when I brought home straight A's. Or worse. When I joined the debate team, "Words are fine, Emily, but they don't build empires. Look at your brothers, they're out there getting their hands dirty." He never raised a hand, never yelled outright. It was the quiet dismissals that carved deep, the skipped parent-teacher conferences for my honor roll ceremonies, the forgotten birthdays overshadowed by Michael's football banquets. Mom tried to bridge the gap sometimes. "Robert, Emily's poem got published in the school paper, isn't that something?" He'd nod absent-mindedly. "Yeah. Cute. But poetry? That's not gonna pay the bills. Stick to the basics." So I started hiding my report cards in my dresser drawer, tucking away art awards in shoeboxes under my bed. Praise wasn't coming. And the love my brothers got so effortlessly, it felt like a club I could never join, no matter how high I jumped. By middle school, the silence had settled in like fog. I stopped sharing my wins, stopped expecting anything. Once, in a heated argument with David over chores, he snapped, "You're just jealous because you're not the star. Always making it about you." I wanted to explode. To tell him how it felt to be a shadow in your own home, how Dad remembered every detail of Michael's stats, but couldn't recall my middle school graduation date. But I swallowed it. Like always. Silence became my armor. In high school, I flipped the script. I got a job at the local diner. Saved every penny for college apps they didn't know about. When the acceptance letter from Stanford came with a full ride, I left it on the kitchen table. Dad skimmed it over breakfast. Said nothing. That night at dinner, talked to my old army buddy. He's gotten in for Michael at that engineering firm. I chewed my food. Nodded. Invisible again. The letter vanished by morning. No congrats. No questions. Just erasure. I carried that weight like a backpack full of stones, years of being seen but not valued. Heard but dismissed. Loved. Perhaps. In the obligatory way you love a family pet you didn't choose. To neighbors. I was sweet Emily. Always helping out. But never smart Emily, never strong Emily. So I stopped chasing his nod of approval. I built walls. Focused on me. But deep down, a whisper persisted. One day, they'll regret not seeing you. College was my escape hatch. At Stanford, no one knew the Thompson boys or Dad's war stories. I was just Emily, the driven one with a fire in her belly. I majored in business. Worked 2 jobs. Graduated summa cum laude. At commencement, I scanned the crowd, empty seats where family should have been. I'd sent invites. Reminders. Nothing. A text from David later. Oops. Missed the date. Congrats though. I powered off my phone. Toasted myself with a solo cup of cheap champagne. That was the quiet goodbye to needing them. I didn't cut ties immediately. Holidays. I'd call. Listen to updates on Dad's golf games. Michael's corporate climb. David's latest real estate flip. If I mentioned my new job at a tech startup, it'd pivot. That's cool. Hey, guess what Michael just closed on? I became an echo chamber for their lives. My own stories bouncing back unheard. Still, hope flickered. Maybe they'd get it someday. Then came the storm that broke me. I'd been with Alex for 2 years, a kind, ambitious guy who saw me. Really saw me. We talked marriage. Futures. One stormy night, he ran out for pizza. Kissed me goodbye, back in 15. He never returned. A drunk driver plowed through an intersection. Instant. The ER smelled like bleach and bad news. We're so sorry. I crumpled. Called home at midnight. Mom picked up. Voices and music in the background. Mom. Alex. He's gone. Pause. Oh honey. That's awful. But now's not great. We're at David's promotion party. Everyone's here. I'll call tomorrow. She didn't. Next day. Family group chat. Photo of them toasting. Caption, epic night. I stared until my eyes burned. That snap wasn't anger, it was surrender. I was done scraping for crumbs in a family feast I wasn't invited to. After the funeral, attended by friends. Not family, I packed up. Moved to New York. No forwarding address. New number. Social media purge. Silence. But this time, mine. It stung at first. Like ripping off a scab. But it healed into strength. I channeled the void into work. Joined a consulting firm. Rose to partner in record time. While my brothers rode Dad's connections. I earned every rung on merit. Pain became rocket fuel. They didn't notice my absence. A cousin's Facebook post showed David's wedding, Dad beaming at the altar. Mom in pearls. Michael toasting. No outreach to me. Then, an email from Dad's old account, family update. Mom and I hitting Florida for winter. Michael's up for VP. David's house hunting. Hope all's good. No questions. No warmth. Just a newsletter to a stranger. I didn't reply. By then, my firm, Thompson Insights, was thriving. Offices in NYC, Chicago, LA. Features in Forbes. Awards for innovation. Mentoring programs for young women. Impact. Real and raw. They knew nothing. Until the retirement invite. Email from Mom. Your father's retiring after 35 years in the service. Banquet next month. Hope you can make it. Smiley face. First contact in years. No curiosity about my life. Just a summons to applaud. I printed it. Stared at it daily. Then decided I'd go. Not for them. But to close the book on my terms. I designed the box myself, sleek mahogany. Engraved, from your biggest failure. Inside, copy of my Stanford acceptance letter. Ignored. Photo of Alex and me. Laughing on a hike. Dated the day before the crash, grief unacknowledged. Press release. Thompson Insights named top 50 consultancies. Emily Thompson. Founder and CEO. No daughter of, just me. The night arrived. I slipped into the hall in a tailored black dress. Box in hand. Whispers followed. David approached. Emily? Long time. For years, I corrected flatly. Mom hugged awkwardly. He'll be thrilled. I doubted it. Toasts flowed, Michael praising Dad's discipline. David joking about his lessons in manhood. Dad's turn. Proudest of my sons. Emily. Well, she never had the grit. The room chuckled uneasily. I stood. Walked the aisle like a bride to her reckoning. Placed the box in his hands. From your biggest failure. Exit stage left. Gasps trailed me. Outside. Fresh air. Then the scream shattered. Primal. Inside. He opened it. The letter, his eyes widened. Recognition dawning. The photo, breath caught. Face paling. The release, jaw slack. A guttural cry. Mom grabbed it, tears as dates clicked. Brothers gaped. Emily did this? Alone. The hall froze. Regret hit like a freight train. Too late for pride. For questions. For mending. Morning. Missed calls, dozens from them. Including Dad. An email. Emily. I saw it all. I was wrong. Terribly. Your legacy outshines mine. Sorry. Can we talk? Love. Dad. I read it. Closed it. His words were for his guilt. Not my healing. I'd mended without them. Instead, I donated anonymously in his name to a fund for overlooked girls, for daughters told they weren't enough. Note: let them thrive without permission. Signed, Emily. That was my endgame. Not destruction, but revelation. Revenge isn't always fireworks. Sometimes it's the quiet walk away, leaving them to choke on the silence they taught you. I wasn't his failure. He was mine. And now, I was free.